project coordinator for the Hair for You project. This is our 5th week and our final week of our project. We have a wonderful bunch of ladies and our hairstylist Kamika, and we are going to just have a quick conversation about, last week we talked about how there was a scenario of a young lady that wanted to reintroduce condoms into a relationship that she was in, and her boyfriend at the time pretty much said, if you force me to wear condoms, then I'll have to hurt you. So let's talk about encounters of, like, what do we do in situations when we hear threats or abuse or things like that? Like, how have we handled it, or what have we seen? What are things like that?
Just take it serious for one. You can't just dismiss it like, yeah, he's just mad. No, you have to take it seriously and you act on it from that point. What you want to do. You want to stay, you want to continue.
I think you make a really good valid point, though, of taking it seriously.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people do not take threats like that seriously because they think it's, he was just mad, it was just emotional or whatever. To not realize that if he said it, it's a high possibility that he means it.
Yeah. People always speak the truth when they're drunk and mad. I find.
They tell you their mind.
Yeah.
What's in their mind.
They speak the truth at that time. So, listen and act on it.
Right. We were also talking about at some point how this same type of scenario was in the 90 Day Fiancé episode with
one of the couples.
One of the couples, Jay and
Ashley.
Ashley. How did that scenario even go? Anybody?
Well,
See, they lock him up, right? He's in jail.
Well, now he's locked up.
He's
but
locked
at
up
that
now.
time, he wasn't abusing her, like physically, but yeah, he was cheating. That's some emotional abuse. Yeah, he was cheating on her and stuff. So I don't know.
So they said he's on deportation now because they're telling you it's Saturday night. Yeah, he's on deportation, but he don't want to go home.
Yeah, so he's
I said if he go home, they're gonna do him something bad down there.
That's not doing nothing bad. That's like a mountain.
They're the
You can't live with the mountain. That's it. You know, we Jamaicans, like, they gonna make you feel like shit. He probably gonna want to kill himself. Honestly.
It's unseen. The scene have it big. It's big unseen now. It's a big thing going on now.
But when him go home, now go in the community, that's where his trouble's gonna start.
Yeah, so. That's what he said. He don't want to go home.
Yeah.
So he's applying for a temper. Asking for help.
Well, he may get it, but it may be while he's locked up, right? They may let him stay.
He's in jail right now. He's locked up. They're gonna send him home.
Yeah, the young
with
one.
Donald Trump, they're gonna send him home.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He have no head.
All right, let's not talk about Donald.
But you know, the internet has been very mixed reviews about it because it was actually Ashley who put her hands on him. And so the whole thing is she put her hands on him and then she turned around and called the police. So it's like, what are you calling for when you were the one that put your hands on him? And then it's like, if it was the reverse, how would that situation have played out, right?
Right.
Yeah, I think, and so a lot of people are, and then they feel like she's threatening him and holding the deportation over his head, and
which is now becoming abuse and mental abuse on the opposite side, right?
Yeah.
Because now you're saying to this young man, well, if you don't do what I want you to do, then I'm not going to give it to you, right?
Is this where she filed for divorce?
She initially did, and then he signed it because she had all the money.
Okay.
And he needed money to get out. So she said, you can't come back here. He had no money. So she said, if you want a plane ticket and you want some money, then sign. So he signed to get it and he left. But then she became ill. And he came back to take care of her. And then she pulled back the divorce.
Yeah.
So next week is, the whole reveal. But if you follow it online, they ended up separating eventually.
Yep.
But, of course, there's consequences for cheating and things like that, but it's like, at what point do you draw a line, right?
Yeah, and you can't, if you're helping somebody, you can't.
Do him like that.
Yeah, like
do
you
that.
can't hold
Yeah.
that over his head every time
Right.
something doesn't go your way. Like, oh, you're gonna get deported or those type of stuff. That's not
Constantly,
fair.
But actually, this was actually a really good example or scenario of this case because in many cases, it's usually the men in power who are leaving women in this vulnerable state, right? Where they have the money, they have the houses, so they're threatening them with financial to say like, if you leave me, then you'll have nothing, or whatever the case may be. But this just to show you now that the roles are reversed. Women, she's in that power seat, and look how she used that power, right, to pretty much hurt him.
Yeah.
And to make him
God.
comply.
You could see his, like, you see it on his face. He's
Yeah, well, to
hurt.
hold
worried.
to
But
make
why
him
you do it
comply.
from first? Why cheat from first?
But did he
He
actually
should
cheat,
not
or did he
cheat.
just have a
Yeah.
conversation
He
with
should-
her?
No, he's a big.
Isn't that? Is it
He
that?
brought
shouldn't.
he brought them in the house, and when he was at work,
Yes.
the barber man
Say
dealt
he
with
violated
him
his
because
bathroom.
yes, because he did it in the
bathroom.
bathroom.
Well, he deserve it.
That's what
So-
I say. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
He deserved
yeah,
it.
she deserved to get kicked out. But then when you're gonna put your hands on him and just say, you know, I'm
Don't
choosing
hit
not
him.
to
Just
do it,
let him
then
get out of
that's
the house.
it.
Don't hit.
because if it was reversed
Mhm.
and the man start to beat the woman because she cheated, then what would the response be?
Yeah, he would have been locked up, lost. He
Long
would have.
time.
He wouldn't even gone to local jail. He probably would have just been departed back,
Yeah,
straight back.
straight back home.
They
Straight
would have
home.
just put him on a plane right back home.
So I think that's where the internet was really split on that. It's because yes, he's wrong for cheating, but you're not innocent either. And there's a huge age difference, right? Like she's in
Yeah,
her
'cause she
30s and
met
he's
him-
in his 20s.
She met him when he was 19, actually, and at the time when he was 19, he tell her that he's 26.
Him lied
So
to
for
her.
about 6 months, she thought this guy was
He's
26.
lying to her. He lied to her. Too.
Oh, okay.
He's
I
not-
missed
yeah.
that part. Yeah.
Yeah, so
He's not
6
faithful,
months she
right?
gone too far
Yeah.
now, right? She already kept
Emotionally
feelings and
invested. Yeah.
what to do? She have to just continue, right?
He
and
lied.
see what's
He's lying.
gonna happen.
He
And
lied
this
to
is what
her.
happened.
I mean,
He never faithful to her.
us
from
human
day
beings
one.
lie.
Yeah.
But then you have to keep in mind too that he's young. He's a male. Male takes longer to
So,
mature than
Thank
women.
you.
And you also went to a foreign country to look for a
How
spouse.
old is she? How old is she?
She's in her 30s.
Oh,
And she
he's
has
in-
2 children. And the thing is, I think it's different, right? Like, if you take a chance with somebody who's younger, but you don't have the children there, then that's just your life. But when you have the children involved, I think you have a bigger responsibility to make sure that that person is mature. Because there are some young people who are very mature, right? So if you want to give them a chance, okay. But when you have children involved, I think you have to be extra cautious.
You're right. You have to be
Because now those are 2 kids that they've witnessed, you know, you and the children's father separate. Now they're going to witness you and this husband
Yeah.
separate. That's not good.
Right.
So
And
you
then
have
the
to be careful.
scenario itself is kind of stupid and sketchy on its own, right?
Yeah, you have to be
Because-
careful.
Mom brought a husband from overseas that doesn't look like us in
She
this
went
scenario.
for him. She actually went down there now.
When he was
When he got the date for the interview and stuff, she went down.
She went to get her
followed
boo.
him all the way up to the door. Cause you know you can't go in the room.
Right.
As far as she could go, she went with it. Like
So she go for him. That's it.
So the abuse
Yeah,
in this
she
scenario is the fact that it was reversed. It was a female
But he
on the
shouldn't do
man.
that to her.
No, he shouldn't cheat.
He shouldn't
He
do
shouldn't
that.
have cheated, 100%. You know what I
He
mean?
should
Like, I feel like, especially I've been talking about talking about this topic quite a bit. I feel like men, or maybe just human beings, forget sometimes that the honest truth will work a little bit better in your favor. Because yes, it will hurt me in that moment, but at least I heard the truth and I can work through it.
you know what to do with it.
Right? So
But you know, too, there's many people who will be fine with you being in an open relationship now, in this day and age. So I just think you should find the people that are okay with it, and those
And
that
be
don't
with
want, yes, and be with them. And those that don't want it, give them the opportunity, and it would just be upfront about it. You can find
but the
somebody.
thing is, men don't believe that women are interested in that stuff. Like the thing, they're like, no, they don't want that.
But then
That's the
some
problem.
men can't handle that either. They can handle to be promiscuous and be all over the place.
But a woman
they
can.
cannot handle for a woman to do that. So they don't want to be in a situation where the woman's okay with that. They want to be in a situation where she's not okay with that, but they're okay with doing what they want.
Yes.
That's true.
That is very true. That is very true. A man can't see another woman with somebody else.
Not
but
all men, but like most of them. That's
No, it's true.
no, you're
It's
true. You're right about that one. You're definitely right about that. So to go into another topic, which is kind of similar to this, are you for relationships that happen abroad or not happen abroad, or what
The
would
long
you?
distance, I don't know.
Sometimes
It's
long
a
distance is
gamble.
good.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good.
Why is it good, Mom? Tell us, why is it good?
Forget.
So it works out.
Yeah.
I know of a couple that it happened in a very short period of time. They're like, okay, but this happened like 34 years ago, so there's a whole different ball game
Yeah.
now. Because back then, yes, they were coming here, but they were really coming here to make a better life.
Yeah.
So yeah, 6 months I think it was, and they married each other, and now they're married for 34 years.
Nice. Yeah, sometimes it's a hit and miss. Cause I had she wasn't even my client. It was just an online friend, and she sent for this guy, and it didn't work out. She was so devastated, and it's like he tricked her into all of this.
So it didn't work out because the relationship didn't work out, or didn't work out because this person lied to get himself
I think
overseas?
he lied, and then he probably just wanted to come. That's what I think it was mostly. He just wanted to come and get the paper. When she used to go and visit him in Jamaica, it was all good. She'd get treated like a queen and everything. And then the minute he came,
Everything done.
All of the good treatment
Yeah.
done.
My mom recently told me of someone that she was working with, how she married someone older than her, and for that type of reason to come here, and then he pretty much just treated her like an animal. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you don't get to eat. You become a slave, but you gotta cook for
Oh my
me, and
God.
all type of things.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that there's some people that use that as an opportunity to come to this country called Canada, or sometimes people really do it out of love. But you really have to think about the pros and cons of it all,
Mhm.
right? And if we really talk about, we've been talking about health for the last 4 weeks. Her going to Jamaica, meeting this young man, not knowing anything about him, anything about his sexual health or past experiences, could have been anything, right? She's not only going down there to find a mate, but she could have gone down there and gotten an STI,
Yeah.
HIV, pregnant.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? There's so many things that could come out of those scenarios, and I feel like we need to be a little bit more open and honest about conversations about sexual health, honesty about what our intentions are, because there's other ways to get into the U.S., I guess.
But it's
not really.
one of the easiest ways when you're adults, right?
Yeah.
But I think you have to just do it and be able to do it like you would any other relationship, and not like if it falls apart, that extra layer, like I brought him here, because that will break you down. You have to be able to find that neutral place. Okay, if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, it
Yes.
doesn't. You're just taking a chance. But if you really like, oh my God, I did all of this, I brought it, like, that's gonna tear you down even more. You have to find a place of peace about the whole thing.
Well,
Yeah,
the
it's
whole
hard
90 Day
when it's
Fiancé
your
is that.
money spent up and everything, because it's like you're investing in this person, So you put out everything, and then to come back, this is what they do, like,
That's
it's gonna hurt. It's the
It's
money
gonna
that hurts, Yeah, the heart hurt, but it's the how much money you
You
think.
spent.
When you sit down and think about it, nigga, waste my time and money. The money part get even more.
And the money.
Yeah,
And I've heard it's been some real money.
it's not no joke money to get them here, It's
some
not.
I've heard it's
And
some
then when
money.
they come here too, you still have to
Yes,
be
yeah,
providing
not.
for them because they can't work or anything.
You have to take
So
them
that's
support.
another set of, oh God.
That's why you don't get yourself in that problem.
If you have money, forget yourself in those trouble.
I want me have
So
money.
when-
When I
So
have
when
my
they
money, it's
leave
natural.
and
Me
gone,
put it in
they
the
did
bank.
not bother you.
Put it in the
Bother
bank.
me, yeah, me put it in the bank.
You're right.
The
Put
bank
it in the
ain't
bank.
bother the bank.
Put it in the bank. That's probably a better
Right.
investment, even though you're not
Right,
making very
it-
much.
It
But
goes straight in. All women love him that going to the bank.
Yeah.
You want to come, you find a way come.
Yup.
But I'm not gonna go for him. No
You
way.
find a way to come
Find
in.
a
I've
way.
even
come.
said to my family, I'm like, yo, if I ever was to find a husband in Jamaica, I would move to Jamaica. We're at least a year.
I mean,
So-
I
Before
find
you
there-
try with him.
Yeah. At
Yeah,
least a
for
year.
real.
I'm moving here. If that means
Yeah.
I have to slum out for a year, okay, I'm slumming out for a
It's
year.
actually
Yeah.
pretty smart.
Because that means you need to
Yeah.
show me that you really want to come here.
But you treat you nice down there same way, but when you come here, it's different. You give you a nice 1 year treatment down there. They're
I
like
know,
a
but it's
snake.
also a nice 1 year treatment for myself. I'm here to be.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
when you come here now, when you get here now, it's different. Everything change.
You're right.
What in yard, up in yard. What over here is different.
I know.
Everything change.
I tell people when I go to Jamaica too, I'm
You
like,
go
listen,
crazy.
yes, foreign
can't
looks
believe
like
it.
it's fun and games, but it really isn't fun and games, honestly. You see, like I tell people, when we leave in the winter, it's dark to go to work. We come home at night, it's
Right.
dark.
Still
It's
dark.
still dark. We've never
Right.
seen sunlight.
Never seen light
Right.
until
If we
summer.
were hungry, there is no tree to
Nothing.
pick anything
Right.
up. You have to find money to go to the store. I'm like, you guys don't realize. Yes, the lifestyle.
Miss Bev on a flower. So, you know,
And
we don't have
trust.
nobody for
We
the
don't-
Right.
can't go
We don't have
supermarket.
any of that. Can you ask your neighbor for
No.
sugar anymore?
Nope.
Hey,
Nothing
I was
stop.
just at the grocery store and this lady in front of me, she shot 20 cents and hey, nearly 1 hour them hold up the line and the Chinese them refused to just give the lady the something, 20 cents. One at a time I got mad when I was about to give her the 20 cents, man. Like, come on.
But even the cash register, they could have better go for 20
Like,
cents.
come on. But see,
No,
that's
but
what I'm
that's their
saying.
job,
It's
though,
It's a black
right?
woman too. We can't ask nobody for nothing. You see that? Can't.
Because if their till is short, they have to answer. So they
But 20
can't-
cents, man.
Mhm.
That's an easy loss prevention case
Yeah,
to get with
they
20
refused
cents.
to give it to
But
her.
to hold up for an hour, that's crazy.
Oh, yeah, the lineup was like forever, man. I'm like, what's taking so long after me done pack up my grocery and I wait now for my turn for cash? I know the woman still did it.
But
20 cents.
It's very interesting
So much
how
money for you.
it is. It all adds up. You know what I mean? Like I just need people to realize back home that it's not as happy
It's
and
not.
things that it is here. I mean, yes, we do have, life. Maybe the poverty isn't as hard here,
Mm-hmm.
but it isn't easy. It isn't easy.
You know what it is, though? I think if you have a relationship that doesn't work, that's easier to accept than when you've been manipulated.
Uh-huh.
When you've been manipulated and you've realized how things were strategically planned and how
Yes.
they lie and manipulate, and that's the bigger problem.
When you realize how they took you for an
Idiot,
and you
yes.
didn't even
And they
see
laugh at
it.
you.
Yes, and then when you start to play it back and you start to piece
Piece it
it
together?
you know how we
Yes.
do. We lay down and we
Yeah.
start to put it all
Oh
together.
my
And
God,
we're
we
like,
start
that makes
thinking,
all the things that you tried to
Yeah.
explain away, and then when you put it all together, that's where the anger comes.
Yeah.
It's part of the
It's
money,
true.
but it's the
And that
manipulation.
too, it's
Yes.
true. You-
It's a
you-
manipulation
You just
behind-
got taken for an idiot and you didn't even see the sign, not one little sign. So you extra mad now. Your
Yeah.
money gone. And you took me for an
And
idiot.
all the things took for an idiot.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I guess I don't even know. Is that something that do we have scenarios like this in Canada very often?
Where we're at.
Like where it's
Hey.
Oh gosh.
Oh, God.
like the TV show?
Oh
We
yeah.
have a TV show, but
We have 98 Fiance in Canada
Do
all
we-
the time.
all
We can have
the
our own show. We
time.
can have our own show for sure.
all the
How many
time.
people do you know that
I
brought up
do know of
somebody
a
and
person
they
that
did-
brought up somebody and then
But
disappeared. 2
I
weeks.
also think back in the days
2
like he was
weeks. Him could give the woman 1 month.
You're lucky someone gonna do one day.
Jesus.
Cause they already planned it out.
But it's not just the men, you know.
It's a woman
The
too.
women them are doing it
Oh,
too.
no, this
because
person
they,
was a woman. Yeah, this person was a woman, married a man. Actually, maybe it was 2 months. In 2 months, and then because you know the system, you could call the police
Yeah.
and call the police on him, and
Aww.
it worked. I mean, he had enough to say that, like, I brought her here and she's obviously manipulating the system for herself, but
Yes,
one of those
because
ones.
if it's domestic violence, you
Yeah.
can still get your. Well, in the States, like, I've seen it said that if it's domestic violence while you guys are separated, that person can still get their green
Get
card
the paper.
without
Your
your signature, right?
yeah.
So then they can set up that way. But I don't know how it works over here. But people do it all the time. People go on holiday all the time and come back.
Look at
Happy.
Stella.
Mm-hmm.
Stella got her groove back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he ended up to be gay. Yeah, he's gay in real life.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
But
That's a real story?
Yes.
Oh, God, I totally forgot. Okay.
She was on Oprah, and they did a whole. Oprah brought her back, and brought him, and they had this whole kind of conversation because she wouldn't talk to him, and
yeah,
so
for a couple years
Yeah.
she wouldn't.
and then Oprah brought the two of them on, and they had this whole show, and he was trying to explain how his perspective and whatever else, and she was able to find. I guess now it's been time, right? She was able to find a place
After
of
a
forgiveness,
while, yeah.
but she needed to work that out. She just.
Because she did
Well, for
sue him
sure.
too, you know. She did sue him for one, well, he put thousands of millions of dollars, you know, and I guess that was just to get him sweating. Yeah,
The
cause
money.
Yes! Yes, man. She
The money,
did.
you're right.
She got him to sweat, man. Yeah, but she didn't. She didn't went through with it. But she did win, I think, but never bother with the money thing with him because she don't never have it. But yeah.
Again, though, can you imagine
Seriously.
how you feel manipulated?
Uh-huh.
And you.
And then he turned out to be.
That's what kills her. He
Gay.
is gay and he with her all this time. Like,
And she might not say I'm gay.
no.
Shoot you.
I don't think he did know either, apparently.
Beaten.
So.
No,
he
he
never
never knows
properly
it.
beaten.
I don't know
So
if I
that's-
completely agree with
She's
that
like,
statement
you
because
know, good
most
beaten.
homosexuals say
Most
they know within themselves. It's
Yes.
just for them to come out with it, right? A lot of
Well,
them
maybe
know.
he didn't want to admit it to
Oh,
himself.
okay, that's a different argument.
He never admits it.
He never wanted to admit it until he was trying to
Figure it
fulfill-
out.
figure it out.
For your talk
Unfortunately,
on woman time
nobody-
and money.
Yeah, no. Nobody wants it to be on
When
their
he's
tongue.
now he's in America living a good life.
Yeah, him have one nice come on, I think, no?
Lord of mercy.
Him life comfortable now, man.
But wonderful conversation, ladies. Again, thank you for being a part of the Hair for You project, and thank you again.